Sephiria's cover art almost made me skip this game, and that would have been a huge mistake. Welcome back to the black market. I'm Cobalt. No, I'm not a furry. The game made me do it black. It's just left early access, and it's $14.99. I'm going to give you the verdict before you make the same mistake I almost did. So here's the thing about box art that nobody talks about. It's the whole pitch for a game. One image, it either grabs you or it doesn't, and if it doesn't, you just scroll past and never think about it again. Sephiria's store page had this soft pastel bunny, sword and shield in hand, looking out off a cliff, and it looked like a cozy little wander around game. What's actually going on when you hit play is it's a fast, kind of dense action roguelite with an interesting inventory system. That's basically the whole reason I'm making this video. So for a quick background for the game, it's from Team Hooray. These are the folks who made Dungreed. If you played Dungreed, from what I hear, you already know these guys understand combat. I personally haven't played Dungreed, but after playing this, it's on my list and you'll probably see it hit the channel soon. You're playing a rabbit going down a dungeon full of demons trying to save your village, which sure sounds like every other roguelike premise ever, but you're not exactly here for the story, you're here for the execution, and that's where it gets good. The combat is the first thing that grabbed me, and it really grabbed me. Movement has some weight to it, but it's not sluggish, which is really hard to pull off, and most games don't. Dodges have a solid window, hits actually feel like they land, there's a bit of feedback, and the game expects you to read what's coming instead of just tanking hits until you win through sheer numbers. I died on my first run, probably around the 6-minute mark. I know that's shameful and I probably shouldn't be advertising that, but it happened. But I wasn't even mad about it, and that was kind of the thing. Honestly, that's a really good sign for me. If a roguelike kills me early and I'm already reaching for the retry button, it's done its job, especially because I'm oftentimes the kind of person who wants to quit when I'm not instantly good at something. I'm not proud of that, it just is what it is, and we all have our things we have to deal with. The game has 6 weapons and something around 50 upgrades for each weapon. Normally, I'd just kind of roll my eyes at the stat sheet of numbers for a game, because it usually means 50 tiny stat tweaks, and they don't actually change anything, but that's not the case here. Sword and Board wants you up in someone's face, pushing every opening, and frankly ignoring when there isn't an opening by blocking. Bow wants you kiting around the edges of the room, which makes it almost a different game entirely. But there's also a ranged Sword and Board. The bow is sometimes rapid fire, sometimes it's a huge cannon. These upgrade paths can massively change what and how you're building. One of my personal favorites is the Bolt Barrage staff build. And then there's the artifact and tablet system, which is where I actually lost track of time. You're picking up artifacts through a run and slotting tablets next to them, so your inventory turns into this little puzzle you're solving on the fly. Do you get more tablets to level up the artifacts you already have, or more artifacts in hope of getting the right combo that brings your build online? The artifacts belong to different skill families: Ember, Frost Relic, Solar Blade, just to name a few. There's even a system to cut down the RNG in a particular run to steer you towards a couple of these families, so you can create a cohesive build. If you're the type who gets into theory crafting, and I'd bet a decent chunk of you watching this are, this is where the price tag pays for itself. The build craft in this game is amazing. Kind of felt like piecing a puzzle together where two things look totally unrelated until you see how they click, and suddenly your build just works. Games that only fake build variety burn out in a couple of hours. This one didn't do that to me. I'm 50 hours in, and that number feels small. I just don't have the time to play as much as I want to. And I've got to bring up the art thing again because I brought it up in the cold open and I want to actually explain it instead of just complaining. The cover art image was flat, it was static, it was a marketing asset and nothing more. In motion, the pixel art is actually charming and has personality. Enemies are varied enough that you're not fighting the same 3 guys reskinned 6 times. Each area of the dungeon looks different enough that you can tell where you are without the game having to tell you itself. It's not chasing some huge art budget, and it doesn't need to. It knows exactly what it's doing, and it commits. The problem was entirely on the store page. Somebody picked an image that didn't look anything like what was happening when you actually play, and that choice was costing the game clicks it should have been getting. It doesn't help that this art style doesn't cater well to cover art or action shots, but the gameplay is where the art truly shines. Speaking of the gameplay, this game also has co-op, up to 4 players online. You could trade items, pick each other back up. I've put a decent amount of time into multiplayer in this game, and I can say it holds up. Should have the link below where Zoelgen and I take on a run together. The link's in the description, and there should be a link in the end card of this video as well. I've also played plenty of 4-player runs with my buddies, and every time it's felt fantastic. The right amount of chaos. Bolts flying, meteors falling, storm clouds shooting out lightning bolts. All the while, you're mixing and matching artifacts with your friends while trading so that each of you can reach your full potential. If 4-player co-op roguelikes are your thing, keep this one on the radar regardless of anything else I've said here. But what actually am I saying here? At $14.99, when this game launched into 1.0, the combat feels great right out of the gate. Builds actually branch. There's enough weapon variety and artifact variety to carry you through a long stretch of gameplay if the loop actually grabs you the way it grabbed me. Buy it. I don't say that about every early access game that graduates into my queue. Most of them have at least one rough edge I've got to warn you about before I recommend the game. Sephiria's biggest problem isn't even in the game. It was one static image on the store page, and I'm pretty sure if I check now, the cover art's completely changed. If you've already played Dungreed, you're going to feel right at home here, just with more going on under the hood. If you've never touched a Team Hooray game, honestly, this is a solid place to start. It's where I started, and now I'm a huge fan. And it's a solid place to start with roguelites in general, if you're newer to the genre. Either way, don't let the bunny on the store page talk you out of it. That almost happened to me, and it would have been a shame. If you made it this far in the video, a like and a sub would be greatly appreciated. I'm trying to grow the channel right now, and every little bit helps. Be sure to hit that notification bell so you don't miss my next video. I stream on Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, so feel free to stop by and say hi. As always, I'll be back later in another video. Peace out. And a special thanks to all our members for supporting the channel. You guys are what allows me to keep making these videos and doing what I love, so thank you.